everyone is so different.
Yeah.
So saying these overgeneralized things, you're always going to make someone sicker. Saying that like, oh, you should eat the carnivore diet, you're always going to make someone sicker.
Yeah.
Saying that you need to eat vegan, you're going to make someone sicker. So like everyone is so different. Like you really need to eat based off of like your blood type and your hormones and your body type, and like there's so much that goes into it. So I know that's really frustrating, but that's why working with like a naturopathic doctor, a functional medicine doctor, an esthetician that like really specializes in, you know, ingredients and chemistry and skin can help you kind of figure out exactly what you need for your type of acne, if that's what your problem is, or psoriasis, eczema, whatever it is.
I want to start with your story.
Yeah.
So what got you into skincare, like becoming an esthetician?
Yeah. I had the most like, I feel like roundabout way of finding kind of like my career. Just kind of start from like the very beginning, because I think it's important to talk about. I like to talk about this at least because I think it's important to talk about the different ways that people come into being a business owner. Like you don't have to go to college. So graduating high school, I like didn't know what to do. I wanted to go to school for psychology, but you have to go to school for like 100 years for that. So I was like, I don't know what to do. My parents really pushed me to take a gap year, and I didn't want to do that because my friends were going to college. And I didn't want to feel left behind. So I ended up going to college for 1 semester. I hated it. I quite literally flunked out. So I had to come home. And then I ended up taking a gap year anyway. And I traveled for a year, which was like the best thing ever. You learn so much more when you travel than you do in a classroom. And that
Where'd you go?
I went a ton of places. I went to Nepal twice. I went to Peru for like 2 months. I went to Israel. I went to Uganda.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of like all over.
You went like really interesting places.
I know.
I feel like they're like standard places people go, and you went
I go to such weird. I just got back from Albania.
How are you picking these? I mean, it's so cool.
I know, it's really, really cool. I got connected with this group called Love Does.
Okay.
It's like a service organization, and they go and do service work.
Oh,
so I was like
amazing.
building like schools and kitchens and stuff like that in all these places.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's kind of random, but yeah. So like
You
Nepal,
still do that?
No, but like I wish I did.
Okay.
I just don't.
Okay.
I shouldn't say I don't have time. I should make time
Yeah.
to do that. But,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, they're actually based in Point Loma.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're really a cool organization. But anyway. So then I became a makeup artist, and then that was cool, but it's really vain. It wasn't like the depth of a career that I was necessarily looking for. And then for some reason from that, I went to fashion styling. And so I moved to LA, and it was actually really cool. I fashion styled for really, really cool people in the music industry, which is awesome. And then my main client.
Wait, what year was that?
Maybe 2015.
It's so.
Were you in LA?
Yeah, I was in LA, and
Really?
I had like internships in like fashion.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What
God, I don't even remember now, but I had a couple. They were like fashion PR companies, and so the celebrities would come in, and we would style them, right? So like they borrow the dress, they wear it on the red carpet, and then they get the PR.
So I would go into the PR companies, be like, "Hey, I'm dressing so and so for this," and take the clothes. So like we totally could have crossed paths.
We could have.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
My main client unfortunately passed away, and then I was like, I don't really know what to do, and so I ended up coming home. And I think it was my friends that were kind of like, well, you like skincare, like, why don't you go to esthetician school? And I was like, okay. Like, I just really, it wasn't like a super thought out thing. I just did it. And then, like, truthfully, and then in school, I was like, wait, I am like really into this. I was never good at school traditionally. But when I went to esthetician school, because I loved it and cared about it so much, I graduated top of my class. I was literally tutoring the other girls on how to do it. And I was like, wait, like, I'm smart. Like I had never felt smart in anything in my life. And I got super into like the science chemistry side of things, which I would have never predicted for myself.
Yeah.
And so when I graduated, also to rewind a little bit, I had acne, really bad acne, starting about 7th grade. Never went away. It got really bad in school, in esthetician school, because you're practicing on each other. So when I graduated school, I was like, who the heck is going to listen to me? So I ended up going to a dermatologist. They gave me some like topical medications. It ended up making it worse. I kind of stopped. And then in that same time period, I ended up interviewing at an acne clinic in La Jolla, the San Diego Acne Clinic. I had never heard of acne clinics before. I was like, where has this been my whole life? I needed this. Danielle of Clear Stem, I worked for her for years. She looked at me and was like, you're allergic to your conditioner. And I was like, what? Like, I thought it was crazy that she could see that. And now I can see that in people. And so I'm like so grateful to her because she gave me my whole career and taught me so much. And so I managed the San Diego Acne Clinic for, I think, 3 years. And then I left and started my own clinic, which is now North County Skin, which is in Encinitas. I have 4 employees now, which is like so cool. It started just myself in a teeny tiny room, and now we have 4 rooms, and it's been incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you were so into skin? Like what did you love about it when you're saying like you geeked out over it?
I think because I struggled with it for so long. Like I always say when people come in and we do the new client evaluation, I want to put people back in the driver's seat of their acne because you've struggled with acne. It's this huge question mark, and I want to be able to take the question mark away for people. So even when I was in school, they don't teach you, esthetician school gives you the tools to be able to pass the state board exam, which is like sanitation laws, essentially. What temperature should you wash your towels at and stuff like that. How to mix your barbicide. Like they don't teach you really anything about skin, like acne especially. So when I started to really get into like, oh my gosh, I can give people the answers. Like this cleanser has an ingredient that is clogging your pores. Like there's an answer for you, or you're eating this. Try to stop or limit that, and that could help it. Just to be able to put people back in the driver's seat of their acne and take away the question mark of it is like so empowering. And we never want to encourage restrictive eating or anything like that. It's just about empowering people to make decisions. So it's like dairy, for instance. I'm going to eat this pizza and I'm going to love it. And I am going to get a pimple, and that's okay because I made a decision going into it knowing that. And so I just think it's so cool to be able to do that. And then to also just give people their confidence back. Like as 2 people that have struggled with acne, having acne sucks. Like you just, and you know that when you see other people with acne, they are consumed with it. Like you think it's all people are thinking about, even though it's not true. You know, I used to skip school because I had pimples, or I told people that I was stung by a bee because I was so embarrassed that it was a pimple. And people were like, this girl gets stung by bees.
Oh my God.
Like, she like work with bees. But yeah, because I would do anything to have people think it wasn't a pimple. So yeah, I just think it's so cool to be able to give people their confidence back and like their life back, to be able to just go out in public without makeup on, or to wake up, because I used to wake up every day with a new pimple, and the fact that I can wake up now and not have to like touch my face to think about if I have a pimple is so empowering.
It is so liberating. I mean, I think about all the things I skipped out on, things I didn't go to, like all the ways I was hiding. I did the same thing. I'd stay home from school. Like I didn't go to dances, like things like that. And it's like it's so sad. So sad. It hurts my heart. And I'm also like very well aware that like for me, I was so embarrassed and it was really fucking with my confidence, but no one else noticed.
And like no one cares.
No one cares.
But we care.
And I've dealt with a lot of different health issues in my life, and I'm like that is like, it's one of the hardest ones because of how much visible. It's so visible. And you feel judged or whatever it is, even though you're not.
Nobody's judging
nobody
you.
is.
Because I mean, I think it's like 90% of people struggle with acne. So it's like absolutely no one is judging you, but it makes you feel dirty or unhygienic or like you don't wash your face or you don't wash your sheets or whatever it is. It's like that's not the case literally at all. I don't know if we're going to go into the science of acne. I don't know if you want to. But that's absolutely not the case at all. But that's how it makes you feel.
Well, and it's so frustrating because it's hard to pin what the cause is. So you 100%. Do feel so disempowered. And I think about myself in high school and like middle school, high school, early college. And I was just like, I tried every product under the sun. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I was shooting in the dark and I wasted so much time, so much money. And then I remember.
Ruined your barrier.
100%. And when I cleared my skin in college, I mean, I remember the first time I woke up and I went outside and I didn't wear makeup for the first time, like, in my fucking life. And I was like, holy shit, like, I feel free.
It feels so good.
I feel amazing.
I know. Yeah.
I have found the light. You know,
I love
it
that.
really is game changing,
yeah.
you know? And I think that for me, it was also hard because I would try and like talk to my mom about it and stuff when you're younger. And she's like, it's fine. No one cares. And I was like, I think it's important to have compassion for what people are going through. Like, even if you don't see it as a big problem, like, it doesn't matter. It's how you feel in your own body.
I know there's a fine line too, because people come in and I see a range of people that come in. People come in with one pimple and they're devastated by this one pimple, and you have to have empathy for that. And I always, you know, I'm not trying to gaslight this person to be like, hey, it's not that bad, but you do want to be like, you know, not that it could be worse. It's hard to find the words to be like, we can make this better, versus when it's really, really severe that you're like it hurts your heart to see this person go through it, you know. And it's really hard. So a lot of times people come in, they cry on the first time, just talking about it, or a lot of times on the first treatment they'll cry because
it's vulnerable.
It emotionally hurts, and then it physically hurts too when we're doing extractions or the treatment or anything. And then once they get clear, they cry too because they're so happy, and it's like the best thing ever. So I cry with my clients all the time.
I mean, it's definitely an emotional experience.
I know, but it's so cool, and that's why, like, with the makeup or the styling thing, like, at least in my opinion, that career like wasn't going to give me the depth of like meaning that this career does. Even though it seems vain maybe on the surface, like it truly, no, I'm not curing cancer, but like it's changing lives that people are able to like go be themselves in public. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I think anything that makes somebody feel confident in themselves is like, I mean, that's deep work.
I know.
You know?
No,
so
100%. Yeah.
So let's talk about the science of acne then. So if it's not about a hygiene issue, like what's going on?
Okay.
Okay.
Buckle up. So the scientific name for acne is retention hyperkeratosis. So hyperkeratosis, keratin is the protein in our skin. Hyper is we're producing too much of it. Retention is you're holding onto it. So as someone with acne, you produce 5 times the amount of skin as someone who does not have acne. So that means you're shedding 5 layers of skin a day. But instead of shedding it, you're holding on to it. So the name of the game with acne is exfoliating, but not over-exfoliating, hydrating enough, not over-hydrating. So that's why when you're going to Sephora or you're going to CVS and you're shooting in the dark, it's so hard to figure out exactly you're using this toner, you're using this cleanser, like exactly what you need, because there's so many things. And what happens most of the time is that people end up over exfoliating with the chemicals. They're on salicylic, a retinol, a glycolic. They're on too much chemical exfoliants and not enough manual exfoliants. And then not enough moisture as well. And then people come in where they're very blotchy and their skin is very thin and oily. And then we have to do what I call skin rehab for a few weeks. No actives. We kind of rebuild that. And then we slowly add back in actives. So again, it has nothing to do with hygiene. It's a genetic condition of your pore. Your pore is malfunctioning. So you can really thank your parents, your grandparents, or whoever. Yeah. Just that pore is malfunctioning. So that's why people say that acne cannot be cured. Because essentially it is just something that your skin does, that it just needs a little bit of help along the way. I do think that your acne can be managed amazingly. Like for myself now, I have my acne very under control, but that doesn't mean that I don't occasionally yesterday I was driving in the car. I was like, oh my God, I have like a pimple in between my eyebrows. You know, like it just happens and it is what it is. But I tell my clients, we can make the pimples not be as big, not hurt as much, not last as long, and be less frequent. Yeah. And that's management.
Okay.
So
what about the different types of acne though, right? Yeah. Like, cause I always had like deep cysts. I never had like, you know, other people have like the small little like what are the different types?
So there's inflamed, non-inflamed, and then combination, which combination is obviously inflamed and non-inflamed. So non-inflamed is so stubborn. That's like the texture, smaller surface level bumps that you're talking about. That loves to be manually exfoliated. it's usually more sensitive. So people come in and I can't do treatments on them immediately because it's really sensitive. But the more inflamed ones often are confused for hormonal ones. All acne is hormonal because hormones play a role in everything. Most of the times, those non-inflamed ones actually mean high testosterone. So hormones play a role in absolutely everything that we do. So yes, it could be that you're on your period or that you have PCOS or whatever because it's inflamed, but what am I trying to say? When you eat something that causes a lot of inflammation, it triggers your insulin, which triggers your oil production. And that's where you'll get clogged pores and more inflammation. You can get inflamed pimples too. So they all like the hormones and the inflammation, everything completely coexist together. That acne is never, at least in my opinion that I have seen, solely hormonal. Even when people come in with PCOS, they're using pore cloggers. They are eating something that's causing inflammation, something along those lines. So with the non-inflamed and the inflamed, you just treat them different, essentially, like topically, but you would go about it internally the same way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can we talk more about the hormone piece? Like, is there a way that you can like tell or guess what the hormone balance is that's causing, like, based on where it is or like what it looks like
on your face?
Yeah, like if it's like high testosterone or estrogen imbalance, like is there a way to tell that, or is it
blood work?
Okay.
Blood work. They have like hair testing. There's a bunch of different tests that you can do that can tell that stuff. That definitely helps. There's something in Chinese medicine called face mapping that tells you like that needs to be taken with a giant grain of salt because it's not taking into account pore cloggers. Yeah. Like they're saying, oh, like right here, I don't even know what the face map is to be honest, but they're like, oh, right here could be your gallbladder. Yeah. Okay, but also is it your conditioner and your detergent? So take into consideration that, because like right here, I see a lot of times is people that smoke marijuana. Oh. But this could also be, are you putting blush there? So, and right here on the Chinese map, I guarantee is not marijuana. It's probably like your heart or something.
Yeah, it's probably not marijuana. Yeah. I know that some people like that really maps for them. It's never mapped for me. Like because I've always done a lot of blood work because my other health issues, and it never matched.
And that's the thing is everyone is so different. Yeah. So saying these overgeneralized things, you're always going to make someone sicker. Saying that like, oh, you should eat the carnivore diet, you're always going to make someone sicker. Yeah. Saying that you need to eat vegan, you're going to make someone sicker. So like everyone is so different. Like you really need to eat based off of like your blood type and your hormones and your body type, and like there's so much that goes into it. So I know that's really frustrating, but that's why working with like a naturopathic doctor, a functional medicine doctor, an esthetician that like really specializes in ingredients and chemistry and skin can help you kind of figure out exactly what you need for your type of acne, if that's what your problem is, or psoriasis, eczema, whatever it is. Yeah.
So can we go through like some of the different main causes in like different areas? Like let's start topically, since we talked about pore cloggers. Yeah. Maybe you can just explain to people like what that means.
Yeah. So a pore clogger is a molecule that's too big for your pore. Like it will physically clog your pore. So coconut oil is like one of the main offenders. If you think about coconut oil in a jar sitting on your counter, it's like a wax. Like it's so thick, right? Putting that on your skin is probably going to clog your pores. Fractionated coconut oil, when you really get into chemistry, that means that molecule is broken down. That typically is more okay. And it would say that on the label. When you really get into chemistry again, you'll see words that begin with the word cocoa. Not all coconut derivatives are pore clogging. It's really that coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut alkyne, stuff like that. Shea butter, isopropyl myristate. So you have myristate, myristyl acid, myristate, I cannot think of the...
I don't know how you remember all that, but...
There's a huge list of them.
Yeah.
But Myristol or Myristate is also a coconut derivative. That one's pore clogging. So that's also where it gets really confusing. And I tell my clients, it's really not their job to remember that. I have the list on my website. There's plenty of websites that have the list on there too, that you can go and check and make sure that what you're using is good. Also, like, you know, when you find a place that you know and trust, like when you come into our clinic, you can trust that stuff is safe and stuff is good, and I've vetted it and it's all been tested for comedogenic and all of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like that impacts different people like differently though?
100%.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, is I don't think you can like broadly say this is terrible or this, because that's where chemistry comes in. Where is it being manufactured? How much of it is in that product? Is it in a shampoo or is it in a conditioner? Is it something that's staying on your skin? Is it something that's being washed off? Like, is it in an acid form? Is it in an alcohol form? Like, there's so many things that go into it. But when people first come in, and I also base it off of, when we're talking about acne, I base it off of severity of acne. When somebody comes in and they're the person with a one pimple, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be that picky because I don't think you really need me to do that to you. When someone comes in with a severe case, I'm like, you are going to use only these 4 things and only do that until I say otherwise. But it really depends person to person. So when you're first coming in and you're really struggling with acne, I do think it helps to be really strict with the pore cloggers. And then as you get clear, you can kind of play around with it. Like, my conditioner has shea butter in it. I'm trying to think what else. Like, I guess I do use mostly acne safe stuff.
I mostly use acne safe stuff, but I don't know that it impacts me as much as some of my friends I know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when my gut is really good, when my diet's really good, I sometimes just feel like I could put anything on my skin and 100%. I'm fine, you know? Yeah. So I think it depends like where I'm at, my stress levels. Like when I'm more stressed or I'm not eating super clean, the pore cloggers seem to like affect me more.
Cortisol plays the biggest role. And people, I mean, like, it's something that we all throw around, like, oh, I'm stressed. Like, it is such a big deal. And
that's what's hard for me, because I think that's my main, that's like the main cause of it. It's that alone. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll try and micromanage like my diet or products. What did I use? And it's literally like I was more stressed this week. Yeah. Like, I hate that.
I know.
I literally hate it.
And there's like, it's like, why don't we just be less stressed?
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do? But yeah, it affects everyone differently. And I tell people too, when they first come in, like, hey, okay, let's say you're eating a lot of eggs and dairy. Eggs and dairy are not bad. And if you can eat them without having any inflammation, any bloating, any acne, 100% eat them. But if you're having those signs, let's cut them out for a month, reintroduce them one at a time, see what happens, because you might be able to eat all the eggs in the world and not the dairy, but we would want to know that. Yeah. So like you said, it, you know, you could put whatever on your face as long as you're not stressed. You want to know that. So we're just kind of trying to put people back, again, in the driver's seat of their acne so they can control it better, whether it be caffeine or the supplements they take, or there's so many factors that go into it, which is like really frustrating for the consumer. But we do try to, you know, kind of dumb it down as much as possible.
I mean, it could definitely be very overwhelming. I remember when I first learned about this and I was looking at all my products, like every single thing I use on my face. And for me also, I find like, it's my skincare is a bigger problem than my makeup personally. Like, I use face makeup with pore cloggers and it doesn't do anything. But when I do like skincare, like if I did like a moisturizer with it, I would get acne.
That's weird.
So I don't.
Yeah, makeup is like usually a pretty big deal for people. But again, it's like
you gotta know your skin.
And you do wear makeup like often.
Yeah, I wear makeup like pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've noticed that. It's like my skincare matters a lot more than my makeup. Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah. Again, it's all about formulation. Like you might just be using like really good makeup too. Then it's like if it has a coconut oil that like it's a super high quality coconut oil, maybe it is fractionated. Like who knows?
Is there a way to tell by what it looks like that it's from a pore clogger, like the acne?
Oh, yes. Well, so when you extract it, basically.
Okay.
So when I'm extracting it, if it comes out like a hard bead, that typically is from product.
Okay.
So like that also could be from dehydrated oil, like if you're dry. But that's typically, if it's like an orangey color too, that's usually like a coconut oil or a shea butter, versus when I extract something and it squiggles out that soft white stuff, that's from your tummy. That's extra skin protein that's created from inflammation.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So basically checking pore cloggers topically.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to topical when I want to talk about like actual skincare.
Yeah.
But then let's talk about diet, like biggest dietary triggers.
So again, this like you can't broadly but so everyone take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But
it's not medical advice.
Yeah. I am not a doctor. Yeah. Dairy, eggs, soy, whey, pre-workout, alcohol, caffeine.
Pre-workout.
Yeah.
Because of the caffeine?
Yeah, anything that's gonna like raise your energy levels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supplements. So it's in excess. Vitamin D, zinc, B12, ashwagandha. Why am I blanking on the other one? Did I say biotin?
No, you didn't.
Biotin, collagen.
Collagen.
Collagen in like that like powder form essentially. So if you're looking to up your collagen intake, just drink bone broth.
Okay.
Because it stimulates your own collagen production.
Interesting.
Versus taking like when you put that Vital Proteins, am I allowed to say brand names?
Yeah, sure.
You put the Vital Proteins powder in your
we don't use Vital Proteins anymore. So you can say whoever you want.
In your coffee or in your smoothie or whatever. Your body isn't like great to my skin. Like it doesn't know that. It just breaks it down into chains of amino acids. And so it's essentially just like taking a protein powder. But since it's not in the form of a protein powder, it creates more inflammation to break it down.
Okay.
So just drink bone broth. It's easier to break down. It's going to stimulate your own collagen production. It's just much more low inflammatory, better for you.
Okay.
Everything else. But yeah, the main one that I see would be dairy, eggs. A lot of people ask me about gluten. Gluten isn't something that I normally pick on unless we're like months into the clearing process and something hasn't changed. Then we'll talk about gluten. I've even like nightshades. I've talked to people about. Whenever people first come in, I always ask if there is one thing that they eat a ton of. Just on the off chance that, like, I had someone tell me they eat a ton of nuts. Like, they were like, I literally like just like snack on nuts. And I was like, let's try to not do that and just see what happens. And it ended up going away. I don't even know why.
Yeah.
Whether it be
like omega-6.
I was gonna say like high in omegas, like just that they were hard to digest for her.
Yeah.
So the nightshade thing too, like I try to educate people just on like low glycemic, low FODMAP, stuff like that. Again, it's just about education. Like, I'm not here to tell anybody how to eat or to restrict or anything like that, but just to educate people, just so they can make more informed decisions when it comes to, you know, how they want to eat for their skin and all of that. But
well, it's really important because it goes beyond the basic. When I first learned about this, or learned about like how nutrition could impact your skin, all anybody was saying was gluten, dairy, sugar.
Yeah. I didn't even say sugar.
Soy.
Yeah.
Maybe corn. Maybe corn.
Yeah.
But like all the supplements nobody brought up. But I think that's what's more interesting. Like you didn't say it because it was like duh, right? Yeah. Because I feel like there are a lot of really healthy people that are still struggling with it.
That's the thing is, especially in our area, people are healthy. People typically don't come in with unhealthy diets. I see it occasionally. But like people come in and they're like, I eat healthy. Like their diet is well balanced. They are active individuals. They're eating a Mediterranean diet, whatever it is. And I always tell people it's not about eating healthy. These are random acne specific things that I'm just going to educate you on. And it's random, just like the name of the game is inflammation. That with illness, with like everything, is chasing anti-inflammatory. Yeah. But yeah, and your skin just essentially pushes out those toxins and that inflammation through your skin.
Can you talk about caffeine? Like, What about matcha?
That's okay.
Okay.
So like low, it's typically when people are doing, and again, it's all of these things in excess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's typically when it's caffeine or coffee in excess. Okay. Matcha, and honestly, I don't know that much about matcha because I don't like it, so I don't drink it. But it's like matcha, to my knowledge, is very low in caffeine. It's like easy to digest. It's more like,
well, it's actually not like that low. I feel like people act like it's lower than it is.
Yeah, they're like it's water.
But it's because, because it's balanced by L-theanine, you know?
Oh, okay.
So it like makes it smoother and more even. So
okay.
definitely your body interacts with it differently. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
Because everybody always says like, no caffeine. I'm like, but matcha's fine. Like, yeah. I'm like, well, there is caffeine in matcha. So I'm like trying to figure out.
Yeah. And I tell people like, and I've learned in my business, you have to pick and choose your battles. Yeah. Like if I tell people to cut out their coffee, they're out. They're like, later, bitch. Like I'm absolutely not listening to you. So you have to pick and choose your battles. That 1 cup of coffee a day, that's fine. Don't have it on an empty stomach. Eat before, maybe have a cup of like warm lemon water or something to like really kind of alkaline your stomach beforehand. And then you can have that cup of coffee. But if you're having another one at noon, another one at 3, that's where I'm like, hey, like maybe we can then switch to matcha later in the afternoon. It's just about like little switches here and there.
What about, well, I mean, sugar, obviously. What about like sugar alcohols and stuff? Do you see that being an issue? Or like things like stevia, xylitol, like monk fruit, like.
Yeah. Monk fruit, I have not seen be a problem. Monk fruit, I think, is better than like stevia and those guys. Okay. Yeah, try to stay away from. Try to just do the more like natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's talk about workouts.
Yeah.
Like how does exercise impact your skin? What do you see?
So exercise in general, I think because it's so good for your mental health, it ends up being good for your skin, right? Like we're talking about cortisol. Exercise movement lowers your cortisol. It's good for your lymphatic system. It's good for your circulation. It's good for so many things that it in turn ends up being good for your skin. I think it gets a bad rap for our skin because like you sweat, and when you sweat, you release toxins because we are in a pollutant world that those toxins then sit on your skin. But in general, like I don't think the solution then is to not work out. Yeah. You know, so but whatever workout is right for, you know, you and your body, I think that is awesome. That do you know what hypochlorous acid spray is?
Yeah.
That is amazing. So hypochlorous acid it was invented for cradle cap, which is what babies get. I use the Active Skin Repair. There's a million brands that make them. They are all good. Well, probably not all of them, but basically your white blood cells release hypochlorous acid when you get an infection, and it's what kills bacteria, and it only kills bad bacteria. So it's good for your microbiome.
Okay.
So a lot of my clients will bring their Active Skin Repair spray with them to a workout. So as soon as you're done, you get in your car, you can spritz it. So it just is killing that bacteria. It's not drying. I've literally sprayed it in my eyes. Like when I've had a sty, I've sprayed it in my mouth. When I've had a canker sore, I've sprayed it on my dog when he got a cut. Like it's literally this miracle. I'm obsessed with it. It's good for eczema. It's good for psoriasis. It's amazing. And so that's something that's super helpful for when you're working out. If you do need to like go to the store after you work out or whatever, that you could just help with the bacteria and all of that. Yeah. There's little things that you can do to mitigate. Like if you go to a workout class, don't use their towels. Like you don't know what they wash their towels with. Bring your own towel. Stuff like that. But as far as working out, like it's so good for your mental health and everything. It's, you know, worth it if you get a breakout from, because it's really, if you do get a breakout from it, it's your body releasing those toxins. Like it's essentially a good thing, but it sucks appearance wise.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it actually is a big trigger. Like really? Not from sweating, because
on your face.
I don't usually ever sweat. Yeah. But it's because of what it can do to my hormones if I like push too hard.
I know, that's the thing. Yeah. Especially if you drink caffeine before. Do you usually drink caffeine before?
No, I don't actually usually drink caffeine. I just did today because
I'm like
one of those weeks, you know. But like in general, I don't drink caffeine. But yeah, for me, if I lift weights too much, I'll break out. Like if I'm more Pilates, my skin is super clear.
See, then that's like a testosterone thing. Yeah. It's like so different for everyone. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that took me a long time to figure out because like I was always that was how I worked out with strength training. Yeah. Like forever. So I didn't think that was ever like a factor. And then I stopped and I was just doing Pilates. Then I went back to it and I was like, literally every time I lift a weight, I get it.
You're like one rep.
I get a giant sit. Like literally the next day, I'm like, and so I noticed it and I was like, that's so weird.
Dude, I wonder if you lifted weights in like an infrared room.
Oh,
like inflammation wise, we should like.
Do you have an infrared room?
Well, there's all these like infrared like gyms now.
Yeah, I guess. Like, okay, let's test it.
Let's case study.
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah,
it's
so
to see
weird.
If it's like the inflammation, or because then the testosterone thing plays into it because you might just have higher testosterone.
Yeah.
You would probably know that from your blood work.
What's interesting though is I have low testosterone. Oh. Last time I checked, it's really. I think it's cortisol. I think my body. My cortisol spikes more when I lift weights. Yeah. Then I know everybody. Are
you stressed when you lift weights?
No, I don't know what it is, but my body is definitely very sensitive to stress. Yeah. Like, and there are a lot of things that people will say are like low impact, like low stress workouts. I'm like, my body doesn't respond to that. My body's stressed the fuck out. Like my body just wants to be like safe and cozy. No, so, same. But I think it's, you really gotta experiment on yourself, and I think for me the switch was because I would learn about things that were impacting other people and I was like, I have to figure out what works for me though. The towel thing was actually a big one for me. I started using those clean skin towels or whatever and like made a huge difference, things like that. But I never thought about that before. But then for me, like I don't feel like shampoo and conditioner does anything to me because my acne is not like well, what area would that come up?
Usually like edges, whatever, outsides of the face, down here, and then sometimes like cheeks, because if you think about like where, like when you're sleeping, basically, what's getting on your pillowcase. Yeah. So that's typically where hair care, and then sometimes like back, but I usually more so see it on the face.
Okay. Yeah. What's usually triggering it, like back and chest?
It depends. I would say like gender and age range. Okay. So women, I'll see it in between the breast, collarbones, and then back is typically testosterone. Okay. And then boys is usually hygiene. Like especially like younger boys, I feel like they're just like not properly cleansing. Yeah. And if we just get them like a good cleanser, they're usually okay. A lot of times with boys in the back, it is pre-workout creatine. They're doing some sort of like gnarly. I mean, a lot of boys too come in, they're like, I'm trying to like gain weight. I'm eating like 32 eggs a day. I'm like, okay, so like
32 eggs a day.
How bad do your farts smell? Like, like that cannot be good. Like,
oh my God. Wait, is creatine like just a supplement also a potential trigger? Or is it if it's in the pre-workout? Like, because I feel like everyone's taking creatine now.
I know, because it's supposed to like be good for your brain.
Yeah.
I think if it's in the pre-workout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 32 eggs.
No, but like legit people have like come in and said that to me.
I mean, a lot.
And I get it, especially like boys. I can't relate to wanting to put on weight, but boys somehow are always trying to put on weight. And they're like, I eat 14 eggs a day. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you have sulfur farts. I know you do. Like,
that's a whole carton.
Like, you live at Costco.
Oh my God. That is wild.
I know.
These like teenagers or like adults?
No, like it's usually boys in their 20s. Yeah.
Like men?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a 14-year-old like at football practice. And you're this is like a 25-year-old.
Usually high school boys haven't like quite figured out. They're still just like eating whatever their mom makes. And
Okay.
That also is a whole other the parent-teen relationship.
I mean, how do you get around that?
I don't.
It's
so hard. I have not had a good interaction with a parent teen in my business in like 6 months.
Really?
To the point that a few weeks ago, I decided to pull the plug on allowing teens in my business. And my fiance was like, that's really not a good business idea.
Yeah.
So I actually, because what happens, and I'm not exaggerating, it's the moms are mean to the kids 95% of the time. I had a mom call her son ugly in front of us the other day because of his acne. A mom this week, it was so weird. Her 12-year-old daughter, she's like, can you make her look 5 years younger? I was like,
what
the fuck? Like, weird shit like that. So, and it's comments that I don't even think parents realize hurt their kids. Like, her acne is so much worse than mine ever was. My acne never was that bad. And it's like, that is so hurtful for your 13-year-old daughter to hear. And I've had to call parents and be like, the language that you used during that appointment was completely inappropriate. Like, your child is looking to you for guidance and leadership. You need to be delusionally positive. And they'll be like, oh, I am. And I'm like, but I didn't see that. And if this continues, you won't be allowed back here.
Wow.
So I now have a contract that says if you are mean, you get kicked out.
Oh my God. Good for you.
So this is my last ditch effort before I don't allow parents and because the problem is I love working with the teens. I wish I could keep the teens in there. It's the moms. But because they're underage, I have to have the moms in there.
Yeah, of course.
I have moms that like hover over me and be like, do this, don't do that. And it's really, really hard to do my job.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, this, like that, she can't do that. I looked it up and she shouldn't use this. It's stuff like that they live on the internet. And I get it. Like, this is their baby, but what you guys were doing at home wasn't working. And that's why you came to me. Mm-hmm. But then you're still just living on the internet. So it's been really a difficult business thing to try to figure out. So yeah, I have this new contract that states like, if you are derogatory or like negative in any way, like you will terminate your child's chances of like being treated here. And yeah, I basically like put in a document like every bad experience that I've had with parents and says like, I understand if I violate any of this.
Wow. Good for you. That's heartbreaking.
It's so sad.
I would have thought it would be harder with the because I feel like the teens, I know some teens who like struggle with their skin.
Yeah.
And I know the parents and the teen doesn't want to make any of the changes.
But that is fine. Acne is not a problem unless you think it's a problem. Mm-hmm. Don't make the kids self-conscious if they genuinely don't care.
Well, I mean, like, I'm thinking of specific people. And
I know.
Like, the teen is complaining and insecure about the skin.
They do care.
So they care about it. So then they go in, and then the esthetician or dermatologist is suggesting, okay, well, some dietary changes would be helpful. And the teen is like, well, I'm not changing my diet.
Yeah. Oh, that happens all the time.
You know, so.
Or like the parent will drag the kid in and the parent's actually awesome and the kid clearly doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I've told the parent, do not come back until your kid is begging to be in here because you're going to waste your money. And then I'm going to get blamed when it doesn't get better because they're not doing their stuff at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, the parent-child thing is like so tough. And I want to be able to help these kids, but
that is tough.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
But it's really, really sad. It's been a big problem lately. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I know. It's weird.
I mean.
And I didn't even know. So then I asked, the last few times that it's gotten bad, I asked a lot of my esthetician friends what they do if they see teens. Turns out nobody sees teens. I'm like one of the few that sees teens. And so I asked one of my clients who's a child and his mom, who's actually awesome. And she was like, yeah, we came to you because you're like one of the few that sees teens. And I'm like, oh, like.
Is that why?
I guess I'm like the only one. I had no idea. So I think I just need to start to like draw a harsher line.
Yeah. Well, I think that having that contract is good. Or even just like putting that up like on your website for when people.
No, legit. Because a lot of times moms email ahead of time. I now just send them the contract to let them know like, I mean business.
I mean, it's best you can do, man. That's
isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. I didn't realize that moms would do that. It's really.
I don't think it's intentional. I hope it's not intentional.
I don't think. Well,
I know
it's unconscious. It's like you're not thinking about what you're saying and how it's impacting your child. Yeah. And
but look, who knows? That's what they say in front of me. Who knows what they say at home?
I know. That's like, what's really sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my heart breaks.
I know. It's really, really, really sad. So Yeah.
Well, maybe this will spread some awareness.
I know.
to pay a little more attention.
Yeah.
To what
if you're
saying.
A client of mine that has a child, then you're mean.
Out. I mean, in that situation, like, and even what I was saying about if the kid cares but they don't want to change their diet, do you feel like topicals can get you far? Or do you feel like diet, like, what do you think is more important? Do you think diet internal is more important?
It depends on the type of acne.
I see.
Topicals can carry you a whole way, a lot of the way, but it really depends on the type of acne and the severity and like the genetics of it all. And yeah.
Okay, can we talk about ideal skincare routine?
Yeah.
For let's say the person who is acne prone, that's who we're talking about, and like maintenance care. Like regular, just like daily.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so many steps and products, and there's toners and oils and moisturizer. It's like for someone who wants to build a skincare routine, like what's important to look at?
Your cat hair's all over.
Yeah, sorry. They're everywhere.
And yet I can't even meet them.
Story of my life. Yeah.
So again, it's all about the balance of exfoliation with hydration.
Okay.
So like typically I start my morning with like a creamy cleanser. So specifically I use the Face Reality Barrier Balance Creamy Cleanser. I put on the Face Reality Hydra Balance. And then I'll go and work out, which is indoors, so I don't put on sunscreen. Come home, and then I will do like the Glymed Mandelic Cleanser, which is like a 5% Mandelic Cleanser, I think. So that's a little bit of exfoliation right there. I think pigment inhibitors are really important. The Glymed Brilliant Tone is awesome, and then the Skin Better Even Tone. So in skincare, you have things that are inherently brightening, right? And then you have tyrosinase inhibitors. And tyrosinase inhibitors stop your melanocytes from overproducing. So they're working on an actual like molecular level versus just brightening the surface epidermis of your skin. So using those actual like tyrosinase inhibitors are very important for just like melasma, sun damage, pigmentation, acne scars, really whatever it is. Preventatively, whether you have pigmentation, I have melasma, but even just preventatively. What else? I use the Face Reality antioxidant scrub maybe like 3 times a week at night. Okay. So that's my manual exfoliant. I also use the Skin Better Detox Scrub Mask maybe like once or twice a week. That has glycolic acid in it. So the antioxidant scrub doesn't have any actives in it. The detox scrub has glycolic in it, so that's a little bit of exfoliation, manual and chemical. And then what else? A lot of anti-inflammatory. So I use like the IS Clinical Hydrocool Serum. I love that one. I'm trying to like picture my shelf. I'm really naming a lot of things.
I'm sure there's a lot. Well, what is your... So you use a scrub like 3 to 4 times a week, it sounds like. And then for chemical exfoliant, there's like the glycolic.
Like almost daily, yeah.
Okay, so you do chemical daily.
Yeah. Different variations of percentages. Okay. And then I do use my retinol almost daily.
Oh, so you do like a glycolic like and a retinol.
I don't do a glycolic often, actually. I typically do my Mandelic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's your favorite like acid?
Mandelic.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Mandelic all day.
Why?
I love it. Mandelic is made from almonds. It's antibacterial, antifungal, and antimicrobial. It's a bigger molecule, so it goes in slower. It's less aggressive on skin, but more aggressive on acne. It's brightening. It's just this like a more well-rounded molecule in that it attacks more topics than just like blackheads, just pigmentation, just whatever. Glycolic is really good for that non-inflamed acne. Glycolic is aggressive. It's a really small molecule, so it's amazing for that like stubborn non-inflamed acne. And then I use the Skin Better Alpha-Ret like almost every night.
Okay.
Yeah, which is in my opinion the best retinol ever.
I want to get to that. Does anyone use salicylic anymore for anything? Like,
so it's so funny because like in school and esthetician school, they tell you salicylic is like the end all be all. Like it literally does everything. Some mornings I do put on the Salicylic Plus serum from Face Reality. Salicylic is amazing for rosacea. It's very calming and so salicylic is made from willow bark, which is the same thing as aspirin. So it's calming. It's good for redness. It's better for like surface level blackheads, oiliness, congestion. So I do have some people that use salicylic. There also Face Reality has the Sal C toner that I like. But yeah, I guess I don't use it as much in my practice as like other people do.
If you're doing a Mandelic, well, you explain the science of this, like, because there's AHAs and BHAs, right? And is Mandelic, like, I guess things I've read are like, well, you need both because they're like hitting different things. Is that right?
They're different strengths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's alpha and then there's beta, which alpha is stronger.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So like if you were using Mandelic, would you need a salicylic?
It totally depends on your it totally depends on your type of skin and like what you're trying to. Most of my clients are just on Mandelic because Mandelic again covers so many bases. So that's why also when you go to a dermatologist for acne, more likely than not they're going to hand you a tretinoin, which is a retinol. It's a vitamin A. So also if anyone is confused, tretinoin, retinol, vitamin A, they're all the same thing. They're just called different things. They're all different strengths. I am not a huge fan of using retinol to treat acne for a few reasons, but one of them, it doesn't cover a lot of bases. Dermatologists like it because it speeds up your cell turnover rate. Like I said, retention hyperkeratosis. You're going to start shedding that skin, but that's all it does. It's not antibacterial. It's not antifungal. It's brightening, but that's why it's better for anti-aging. That's why it's better for building collagen. That's why it's better for lightening sunspots, stuff like that. It's not Mandelic, where Mandelic does so many different things and covers so many different bases. Glycolic is good, like it covers a few of those bases, but in my opinion, Mandelic is just so versatile. And it's so gentle. Like it's not aggressive. Glycolic is aggressive. Retinol can obviously be aggressive depending on the strength. But yeah, and then once people get clear, I love adding in retinol. I love retinol. It's just not, in my opinion, for people with current breakouts. I've never seen it work well.
I feel like retinol is controversial nowadays.
In what way?
Like, I feel like a lot of people now are like very anti-retinol. Like, I don't know.
Like specifically the prescription kind?
I don't even know.
I don't like the prescription kind either.
Because it's a pore clogger? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So every one that I've seen come from a dermatologist has isopropyl myristate in it. So it's so silly because it's literally clogging your pores. It's going to put you in just an endless purge cycle. It's formulated to shock your skin into purging. So it like gets it all out. You're shedding skin really quickly. But then you're using another pore clogger and let's say you're still eating eggs. It's like just not going to get better. People are going to hear this and probably be like, I use tretinoin and it's the best thing ever and it cleared my skin. That's so awesome for you. Like I'm so happy for you. That's not an experience I've ever seen personally. Again, I've seen people be like, I put coconut oil on my face and it cured my fungal acne. That's sick. Never heard of it happening personally, but that's awesome for you.
It definitely didn't. I mean,
yeah, you had.
I want to go off on fungal acne because no one talks about it. I'm like, that's a whole other fucking thing.
I know, but so that's everyone is so different. And if that worked for you, like that's so cool. But yeah, the prescription tretinoin, retinols as it pertains to acne, I am not a fan of. But so specifically Alpharet, I will talk on to the Skin Better Alpharet. I am obsessed with. So it actually outperformed tretinoin in clinical studies.
Wow.
They found that when you combine retinoic acid with lactic acid, it makes it stronger but more gentle. And so they're actually finding good results for people with like eczema and psoriasis using vitamin A, which has never been done before.
Wow.
So I don't have a single client that has redness, irritation, flaking. Everybody of my clients has been able to start using it almost every night off the bat. And it is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obsessed with it. It's so cool.
Okay. Love that.
I love it.
I need to check it out. I mean, I know you love Skin Better stuff.
I do.
I've only tried the one thing that you had me get.
I just love that they have, again, now that I've gotten so into like chemistry and research, and I've even been fortunate enough to do my own clinical study, which I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that, but that I want products that have been clinically proven to deliver results, because otherwise, like, what are you paying for?
Yeah.
There's a lot of products out there that, yes, each ingredient has studies to prove certain things, but what about the formulation? I want to know that all of these ingredients together do something. In Skin Better, almost all of them, like their Even Tone, which is their tyrosinase inhibitor, outperformed hydroquinone in clinical studies. That's wild. Fucking crazy. Yeah. And it's pregnancy safe. So that's so cool as a chemistry nerd.
What is it? Hydroquinone?
Hydroquinone. Yeah. Is that NAR.
I think, did I tell you what happened when I used that? I used it in high school.
Really? High school? Oh my God.
Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I was just trying products, and I had horrible scarring. I was trying to get rid of something on the internet told me it would get rid of my pigment. It would get rid of my pigmentation. I got it from, there's that brand. It was like at Sephora or Ulta. I forget what it is now. I think they're off the shelf, but they used to be like, oh, I know the packaging. I'll have to find it. Yeah. But it was in this product, like on the shelves, and I got it from Ulta, I think.
There's no way it's on shelves anymore.
Well, it was. Yeah, but that brand is definitely gone. I don't know what it is, and it gave me a giant, like, I put it on this area for this pigmentation, and it was just a giant white, like, circle on my face. And I thought it
bleached.
Yeah, it bleached my skin, which I didn't think was possible because I'm already super white. And I was freaking out because I thought it was permanent. Yeah. And it went away after like a week, and I was like, I'm never using that again.
No, it's so gnarly. Oof. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of hydroquinone.
Yeah. I don't like that. Yeah. What is the best thing for pigmentation? Like hyperpigmentation, getting rid of that. If people are clear, but they just want to get rid of that.
So treatment wise, I love microchanneling, microneedling. And then personally, the Perfect Derma peel. I've been doing a ton of them, especially now that it's like heading into winter time. Yeah. We're delusional because it's literally like hot outside. But
no, we're pretending like it's fall.
The Perfect Derma peel. So TCA, which is trichloroacetic acid, is the main ingredient that's in most peels. The Perfect Derma peel also has glutathione in it. It has phenol, it has retinol, it has lactic. I think it also has salicylic. It's so brightening. I did one on myself maybe like 3 weeks ago. The amount of pigment that came off my face, everybody was like, I didn't know you had that much pigment. I was like, I knew I had that much pigment.
Okay, I need that.
Dude, it's the best
I want
peel
that next
ever. It's so good. So what I did is 2 weeks before that, I microneedled myself to get the pigment to come to the surface, and then I peeled it off basically. So yeah, treatments like that, and then something like a tyrosinase inhibitor at home, Glymed, Brilliant Tone, Skin Better, Even Tone, anything along those lines, and then just like a brightening mandelic, lactic, azelaic, stuff like that.
Okay, nice. That will be a good segue. I have some questions from audience because somebody did ask about let me pull it up. Microneedling, microchanneling. Basically just wanted to know about it. Like, I've heard mixed reviews about if it's good for skin, but I mean, I think it's great.
Microneedling versus microchanneling.
Well, like, maybe you can just talk about what microchanneling is, and like both, like, you know, what's the point? Who's that for?
Yeah. I think any mixed review, the thing is also like, who are you getting it from? Like, did you get it on Groupon? Like, that probably like isn't gonna be the best, you know. Skin Pin, Pro Cell, no offense to Groupon. It's just like so basically microneedling, microchanneling. Your collagen lives. I just spit. What a gleek! I'm so excited. Your collagen lives in your fibroblasts, and your fibroblasts are only stimulated when damaged. So essentially, we send a little signal to them through these little tiny needles that they've been damaged, and they will re-stimulate more collagen. So usually this is also done by needling in stem cells, exosomes, anything like that. So again, Skin Pen, ProCell, those are amazing devices. They're different. So microchanneling is a stamping device. Microneedling is just a pen. Same exact concept, just a different method. I do ProCell. It just depends person to person. Neither is wrong. But I love it. But obviously people have different opinions, and you're entitled to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, anything like the pen, the stamp, like works really well for me. Like, because I mean, well, I told you this, but for people, like I had tried so many different lasers for all my scarring and everything, and that just made it worse.
I'm not a huge fan of lasers.
Yeah. The one I did do, did I tell you I did CO2?
No, when?
I did it last January.
Oh my gosh, how was that?
It did its job. Like, because I had that indented, a big indent, and it got rid of it.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you do it only there?
I did it only there. Yeah.
Oh, easy.
So I was glad because I was like didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I was at my wit's end, and for that purpose, it got rid of it. But before that, like in college and like my early 20s, I had done a lot of like Fraxel, and I mean, actually IPL helped me a little bit with, I had like broken capillaries.
You're so light skin, IPL would be fine. But anyone darker, IPL skin.
Yeah. But like in general, it just didn't do anything, or it made it worse. And then I started microneedling.
Yeah.
And that changed my skin texture completely. Like, I think people I had really bad scars.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell anymore.
Yeah.
So it really worked.
No, your skin is like so smooth.
But okay, cool. So best treatment for blotchy skin / spider veins.
Spider veins, I actually have like no idea. That's not my area of expertise.
I think that would be like IPL.
Oh, do you mean like dilated capillaries?
I mean,
spider veins are like varicose veins versus like dilated capillaries is IPL.
Okay.
But like spider veins is like actual like varicose veins.
Okay, well then maybe
But
not.
if you're talking about dilated capillaries, yes, IPL.
Okay.
What was the skin?
Blotchy skin.
That means that your skin is imbalanced.
Okay.
So something is unhappy, whether it be you're over exfoliating, you're under exfoliating, something is off. You might also be dehydrated. Yeah. The Maestro serum from Skin Better. I know I keep talking about Skin Better. I love Maestro.
Okay.
It's called that because it literally just balances your skin.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with this serum. It's so good for rosacea and redness. It basically just like anything that your skin needs through this, it's called path technology. It communicates with your cells that it just like chills everything out. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, somebody else also asked how to help rosacea during perimenopause.
Usually like with menopause too, it's like a heat thing. Like people are like, your body is warm and hot. The IS Clinical Hydro Cool is amazing. Glacial facials are really popular right now, like cryo facials. That will help for sure. The Maestro serum, just anything that's cool. Stay away from like hot showers, steam rooms, spicy food, alcohol. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Can you reverse wrinkles and get tight skin again?
Absolutely. Yeah. Botox. 100% injectables, baby. But yeah, I mean, if you don't want to go that route, retinol.
Yeah.
But injectables.
Okay. Yeah. What should I incorporate into my skincare in my 30s? What should I be more mindful of? I guess like prevention.
Yeah, retinol. If you have not, I would say a vitamin A would definitely like start exfoliating in a vitamin A. And sunscreen. If you're not using sunscreen.
Just to be clear, like, is a Mandelic enough, or is like retinol is doing something different?
Well, so when you say preventative, my brain goes to anti-aging.
Yeah.
Where Mandelic, that's my acne brain. So they're two different things.
Okay. So
I use both.
Okay, so the retinol is like for like wrinkles and stuff.
Yeah.
Versus the Mandelic would be like
wrinkles
acne.
And like sun damage specifically too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite sunscreen for face?
Oh my gosh, I have quite a few. But the Color Science.
Oh, okay.
Have you used Color Science?
The Flex one?
The Flex.
I do really like it, but it triggers my fungal acne.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Did you try the No Show, the mineral No Show?
What's that?
Just like their sheer
the powder?
One. No, the sheer one. Just like sheer cream one.
No.
Oh, okay. I can bring you one.
Okay, yeah.
I have some.
I'll try that. Yeah. I've learned so much in the last year.
Yeah.
Like about the fungal acne stuff, and it like changed my life. But yeah. Like really, because I had found this list of, there's a whole set of other ingredients.
Dude, you need to send it to me.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is, but it was like deep in the internet of ingredients, and there's like a specific list of just like makeup and skincare, and it's a very different list than pore cloggers, right?
Yeah, no,
it's
I
like,
want to see it.
and it's like really specific. Like you need the list basically.
Yeah.
So I started figuring things out like on that side.
Yeah.
And so things that were acne safe, quote unquote, and like there are no pore
it's
cloggers,
just, like, different.
it would still be triggering the fungal piece.
That's so interesting.
So yeah, it's been like a whole thing. But the main thing is anything like I need to keep everything very like dry. Anything that's too, like gels work really well, but like a cream is not gonna work, you know? So it's like there's an intuitive thing for me where I can just tell by
like literally feeling it.
I can literally feel it.
Interesting.
But yeah. Okay. So I love the way that works. Like I love how it looks.
I know.
Like, and it's like you don't need makeup. It like totally evens out your skin. But it triggered it for me. Okay. Unfortunately.
What sunscreen do you use then?
I use I like a couple. One is from, it's like a Korean skincare brand. I'll show it to you. I think. It's like it's called watery sun gel.
Okay.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
And then I use the Clearstone one.
Okay.
I love that one. And I like anything like brush on.
Yeah.
I just brush it on a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's perfect.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
Okay, so retinol. What I wanted to ask you, what did you do for your melasma?
Oh my gosh, like everything.
Yeah.
So I got melasma because I got an IPL and I didn't know that could happen. I got it like years and years ago. And it is under here mostly. So retinol, I use the Alpha Ret, I use the Skin Better Even Tone. And then I do also the Skin Better peel pads. I do them like maybe twice a week that has Alpha Ret in them. And then this is my second Perfect Derma peel that I've done this year. Okay. And it lifted like so much pigment.
I need to do that. How often is it like a one time or do you do a series?
Dude, they say, so it's a heavy peel.
Oh, okay.
They say once a month. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You would like never recover. So I say like once a quarter to twice a year.
What was your recovery like? What's it like?
It's just like a week of heavy peeling.
Okay.
I mean, I still went to work and I still went in public. People probably thought I had a disease. I don't care. But like just prepare like a week that you don't care what you look like, really.
Okay. Yeah. I always get breakouts when I get a peel.
It's totally normal to purge.
Okay.
Yeah. I purged. I had I actually had my employees give me a facial.
Okay.
Well, one of them, not both.
Yeah.
That would be weird. Give me a facial a few days ago because I just had some extractions that I needed done.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I need to get one of these peels now that it's winter.
I can do it. Absolutely.
What is the best thing to put on a zit if someone gets a zit? What would you say?
She's just slowly. I'll just hold it. No. So like for an at-home thing.
Yeah. Someone gets a zit, what do you do? Or do you just leave it?
Well, yeah. Like,
is it like a spot treatment you like?
Ideally leave it. The Face Reality, so Acne Med, which is a benzoyl peroxide, I absolutely love. Okay. Not as a spot treatment, like you want to kind of use it all over, and it's a really good preventative. They do have a sulfur spot treatment that I love. That I'm trying to think what else, like ice packing really helps. And then also massaging, which sounds like counterintuitive because everyone says don't touch it, but essentially if you like really kind of like push on it and move it around, you're getting blood flow in there because some of them are so deep, they'll chill there forever and product won't really reach them. They'll just live there. Just like massage it, because really what's happening is you're pushing the infection back into your lymphatic system for it to be cleaned, and then you're bringing the infection to the surface. So, you're bringing blood to the surface. So it could either come to the surface and you could treat it, or if it is like a whitehead and you can kind of just like wiggle it out. Don't dig at it, but you can kind of wiggle it out. Or it'll just, your body will take care of it and it'll go away.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Do you feel like a lot of people have barrier issues now? Like,
yeah, because everyone over exfoliates.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, a lot of people blame TikTok and social media, but this was happening before TikTok and social media. That, like, just walking into Sephora, I did the same thing where I would just buy like the holiday packs of stuff.
Yeah.
And I would put every mask on, I put every scrub on, and I would do it all the time. That people are just over exfoliating, and you have a microbiome on your skin that's supposed to protect you from, you know, environmental factors and everything. And that's what happens. That gets stripped, and then you have no defense against pollutants and everything. And all of a sudden, you're either really dry, you're really oily, your skin is really blotchy, you have a lot of congestion, stuff like that. Yeah. So that's why people have a lot of barrier problems. Okay. Yeah.
How do you restore that? You just like take time off of acids?
Yeah, typically, yeah. So we'll have people just do like an ultra gentle cleanser, a good moisturizer, and a sunscreen for like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and is that long enough time, or does it take
totally
longer?
Depends. Okay. It totally depends. Okay. Usually 2 weeks is okay.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I could ask you a million more questions. I love this topic. I mean, it's so interesting because it is so individual, you know, and I love to talk to people about like what they find, you know? So, I'm sure people are going to love this, and let everyone know like where they can find you, work with you, get in touch with you.
North County Skin on Instagram. I also have a podcast.
Yes.
It's called The Professionals. Yes. With my friends Kara and Cecia, who are awesome. They are also face reality acne experts and all of that. So we kind of just talk about like being business owners and like really all things skin related and everything too, which is so much fun. We have an episode come out every Tuesday. But yeah, North County Skin on like all social platforms. And then my office is in Encinitas if anyone wants to come and make an appointment. We also do virtual appointments if anyone is not in San Diego. Yeah.
And all your fave products, are those like on the website? Or
oh yeah, so you can shop our whole store and everything, or you can come in and shop too.
Okay, amazing. Well, I need to make an appointment soon. Now that I'm back, we need to get back on our schedule.
Long.
I know. So, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Amazing. I know. Thank you so much. It's so fun.
So fun.